going to do the third part of the orchid collection update for the month of April, and this time I won't be really able to appear, or at least that is what I believe. I won't be able to appear in all the video because the balcony is so small that I cannot really sit there and take every orchid. And so what I thought I would do, it is while I am watering the orchids that are in the balcony, you can see here I have the bucket with water and fertilizer, my can, watering can. Here I have a big pot with where the orchids drip, and here I have a sort of grillage, and I am putting all the orchids with the holes from the reservoir oriented towards the middle of the container, because I don't want the water to drip on the floor. So after I am doing that, I will bring every orchid in front of you and I will show to you how they are looking. So for example, now they drip enough. This is the time where I take the water from there, and here it is the Zygopetalum Rosy Blue, which I have recently purchased about 1.5 months ago, I think, from Floreria Design Floral from Romania, and the new growth is growing very nicely. I will try to bring you a bit closer actually, so I don't really lean so much towards the camera. So the new growth, it's growing nicely, and inside the pot the roots are starting to branch. She did came with a bit of spotting on the leaves, but they didn't progress. I hope you are seeing that. They didn't progress anymore. And I will watch the new growth. If that one will have brownish spottings, I will treat her for that. That is a fungal disease usually, or a bacterial one. We cannot really know for sure. Here it is a Zygopetalum Luisendorf. I bought this one from Secret Garden in Romania about 8 months ago, and for the first time he is doing some weird spotting on the leaves. This is a very common occurrence with Zygopetalum orchids, and as I said, I will treat this one, but this is hail damage from last year. I know it looks horrible, so I should cut the leaves, but because we have the new ones which are sick, I will actually postpone cutting the ugly ones until I see the orchid is capable to produce some very healthy new growths. These ones didn't bloom because they were produced in the winter when we have had some less sunlight, but I think the orchid overall it's pretty healthy. It has a lot of fruit. So now I will proceed and spray this orchid according to its needs on the leaves, so I prevent further spreading. She is quite healthy besides the look of the leaves. Here we have a very big orchid. This is a Miltonidium Bartley Schwartz. I have this orchid for about 3.5 years. I bought it from I don't know how it's called, but from eBay, from Poland, and oh, Cattleya, yeah, that is the name of the seller. Unfortunately, this orchid really doesn't want to bloom for me. Ever since, she only bloomed one time, and that was a very poor spike, and she bloomed actually 2 times after about 8 months after I purchased it, and last year. And this year, so far I don't see any blooms. I don't really know why, because the leaves are getting larger and larger. She is a very big orchid, and she is right now losing the old leaves in a process of regeneration, because they have a lot of spots. So that is because when I have purchased it, the orchid came with spider mites, but the newer leaves produced in the past 2.5 years don't have any more spots, because I don't have any pests in my collection. Okay, and here we have, let's try to bring a bit closer. Here we have Phalaenopsis, for which I have lost the tag. It was golden something, but I will put the tag back. It is absolutely full of fruits. As you can see, I have this orchid for about 5 years. It is very, very healthy for me. She blooms reliably, and she has bloomed this winter, and now the spike is dried. So I have brought a cup, I hope you can see that here, with some solution with Phison, and I put the scissors there because as I am working around my orchids, when I am watering, I am also doing some maintenance things, as for example cutting this spike. I will cut it here at the base, and I have other like you can see here, dried leaves. I hope you see the tip is dried, and I will sterilize the cutting tool in between cuttings. And yeah, this orchid has grown this big leaf during the winter, and it is not yet very hardened off. It is still very flexible, so we need to take care not to break it. And she is now pushing up another new leaf here. She's growing very, very well for me. Let's put it back. Here we have a gorgeous Brassidostele Gilded Tower Mystic Maze. The weird spotting you are seeing on the bigger and older suitables, it is from when the orchid was outside, and we had a hail damage, a hailstorm with damaged the suitables. But the newer growths look pretty well. I have this orchid for about 2 years now. I have done a division, and I gave one to Dani. I don't remember if Dani still has it. Mine has a new growth here and one right here, and it's looking pretty good. And here we have the Phalaenopsis Harlequin, and she is growing pretty well for me. Although she did stall throughout the winter for a bit, she does has this new leaf which has been growing throughout the winter, but the spikes didn't continue to grow, and this is because well, when I have left the orchid with my grandmother, she left the window on the balcony open, and the orchid did suffer some cold damage, and I had some bud blast, and yeah, she did suffer a bit from that. And now she is looking like she wants to start to grow again, so I'm happy for that. Oh my god. And this is a very, very bad example of algae. And this is an orchid which will be repotted very soon, and I'm not really doing the repotting because the orchid in semi-hydro needs it, but at least I need to put a little stake and release the holes, because as you can see, I put water here, and look, you can actually see that the orchid doesn't really I don't know how to explain that, like the drainage doesn't work anymore. So I will bring a toothpick, and I will release the holes and see if that works. Last week this problem with the algae wasn't there, so we had a bit of more sunlight, but as I said, I will bring that and I will come back. So as I was saying, I will just do this, and look, this is all you need to do. At first I thought I will need to repot it, but it seems like it is actually working okay like that. So I will let it drain, and I will bring them more orchids. Okay, I have decided to take the camera in my hands because it is really easier to film, and even though I will not appear in the rest of the video, I'm so tired that I really want to save some time, and Yeah, yesterday I think I worked for 24 hours and then I slept for a few hours, 5 or 6 hours, and then this morning I also started to work. And yeah, this is why yesterday I didn't post any videos, but now I really want to get going and post some more videos. And as I said, I still have to work and I wanted to film this, so here we go. This is the Phalaenopsis magic card. Unfortunately, the leaves do seem to dehydrate. I don't really know why this orchid is refusing to produce some roots. I am seeing that she is actually growing this new leaf. I cannot see any new roots, and I remember when I put her in semi-hydro, she didn't have all the roots that were good, so I guess she didn't branch out those, or maybe they even died. I don't really have what to do for her at this point. I'm only waiting for her to wants to grow, so she is growing this new leaf. We are waiting for the roots. Yeah, she is actually going on with the 3 cakeys that she has. This one, it is right now starting to produce some roots, and when the roots will have about 10 centimeters in length, I will actually remove the cakey because I don't want them to drain the energy. To obtain these cakeys, I didn't use any cakey paste. They just appeared because we had last summer really warm weather. Now I'm waiting because I'm seeing that this cake has some bumps too, so he will produce also some roots, and then this one will follow. In about 2 months I hope that all the cakeys will be removed and the mother plant will want to grow some roots of her own. Here it is the Phalaenopsis that my boyfriend gifted me last winter, I think. So I have her for about 1 year, and last year she didn't wanted to grow any roots, but she did branch the spike that she had then. After that in late autumn I cut that one, and now she does have a lot of roots inside the pot too. I'm not sure why last year she didn't wanted to grow roots, but I'm happy that now she did recover. I also have a lot of roots inside the pot, so she is happy indeed in semi-hydro. She is growing this leaf and this one, so she's a happy plant right now. And here we have the what's her name? Phalaenopsis Little Lady D6, and I have this orchid for about a month now. I bought her from Carrefour in Romania. She has some gorgeous blooms. She is branching out and continuing to grow new buds from the tip of the spike, and I have potted her in semi-hydro immediately, and the blooms didn't last because she was growing some new roots, and the pot she was in was really small, was a 5 centimeters pot, so I was struggling keeping the orchid hydrated because she had roots, and the pot was so small. And now in semi-hydro she is growing well, and also she is having a deficiency, but she came with it in my collection. I hope you are seeing the discolorations. This can be caused by many things, but I have a good fertilizer, so I'm sure she will recover. Okay, and here we have some seedlings. I will start from here. This is Cattleya fabia. It is a very interesting cross. It is between Cattleya dowiana and something else. I don't really remember right now, but she's growing very well for me. She has grown this suitable, let's say, last year. This one was grown during the winter, and now she is starting to grow a smaller one here, so I'm very happy for her. She does have some moss on the top, but she is actually in semi-hydro. It's quite a lot of algae, but I don't mind them. Here it is an orchid gift from one of my friends in my old city. It is growing very well. It has stopped growing from the top. It is a cakey that she gave me, and it is growing some new roots. I don't really have any new canes. It is a Dendrobium stardust. This one, it is very known for producing cakeys, side cakeys, let's say, but for me for now all it's good, but after he will start to push up a basil keiki, I will give him very little fertilizer, because I know that this orchid, when you gave him a lot of nitrogen, he will start to produce a lot of side keikis. It is a problem that he has in his DNA, let's say. This is a dendrobium that I have from John Greco, for which I thank him so much. It is a Dendrobium Nora Tokunaga. He gave me a little division back then. I think he only had these 3 small pseudobulbs, and the orchid has produced this little one here and a bigger one here, with no spots, because the old ones did have some deficiency and some pests, but now it is okay, and it is producing a small, very small new growth there, and he is producing some roots, so I'm happy. It does have moss on the top, but it is in semi-hydro. As you can see, the moss will come off in a few months. One, because the moss will decompose, and the second, because the orchid won't need it. For the orchids that are in semi-hydro and they have moss on the top, that exists there because the orchid, it is not properly rooted yet, so I want to encourage root growth. This is a little orchid that I have from Dani, from Miss Orchid Girl. It is Cattleya rojo. Unfortunately, this orchid has fusarium, but when she gave me, it had a lot of more pseudobulbs, about 5 more pseudobulbs, big ones, but the orchid never wanted to grow roots for me, and this winter, or actually in the spring, the past month and a half, she did lose all those pseudobulbs. I'm not sure why, but they had that bacterial rot. I suspect it is because of the fusarium. Fusarium does cause that too. And I was left with this little pseudobulb and with this new growth, which of course has calcium deficiency, as we are seeing. The tip is turning black. But right now it is remaining like that. I put it in the moss, and now it is producing another new growth and some roots. So I will keep my eyes closed for this one, and I will make sure to apply. Well, I am actually applying for all my orchids monthly fusarium fungicide, and yeah. I am making sure this orchid doesn't drip on anything. I really want to save it because it is a gorgeous orchid. Let's see, here we have Cattleya seedling. It is Cattleya varsovicii snow Caesar, and this orchid, it is actually for sale. It is in semi-hydro. It has a few good pseudobulbs and a new growth starting. The most it is to promote root growth, and indeed it has done so. It has a lot of roots now. I'm just trying to find them. I know I saw some root tips here in the base of the little cup, but I don't find them right now. Anyway, it is quite healthy. As I said, it is for sale. It is an orchid species which produces very big flowers, white flowers that are about 20 centimeters in diameter, and they are very fragrant. This is another orchid gift from the same lady which gave me the stardust. This is a Dendrobium and Phalaenopsis polar fire, and it is growing, as you can see, some new growth, one here and one here. It is not very well rooted yet. I put him in moss, and I'm waiting for the new growths to start to grow their own roots, and after that I will actually put some I will put him in semi-hydro after he is starting to produce roots. For now he is growing well, and here it is a very ugly looking orchid, but it is a very interesting one. This is a Dendrobium Yasuko Sujama March, which I have received from Equahenera. Of course it is not healthy. It did had fusarium in the past. I'm not sure of that right now. It came with only these pseudobulbs, these two ones. Then he has produced this, and now it is growing this one. The thing is that by mistake last year when I tried to put him in semi-hydro with Leca Ceramis. I have ripped off the only good root he had. It was a long root with branches and it was severely set back, but now from this growth and from the green little new growth, it is producing some roots, so I am happy for that. He will recover. It has very beautiful blooms. You should check it on Google. And now he is growing some cakeys, but sometimes dendrobiums do produce roots and that they produce a bud and then they produce the cake. So I am really hoping to see that because I never saw this orchid in bloom. He does have some swelling here too, and I think I saw another eye that is starting to swell, so I'm happy he is starting to grow. That orchid took a lot to get used to my environment. It came from Ecogenera, and as a result he took 2 years to adjust to our environment, and that is because they have a completely different environment, different temperatures, so yeah. Alright, and here we have another Cattleya seedling. This is a Cattleya hardiana. It is really growing well. Here we have a new growth, and there are quite a lot of fruits inside this little pot. Here I have a little orchid from Corina, from Fifi Corina, and this is the Brasia that she gave me. I don't really remember its name. It's the spidery one. And here I have a little orchid, a little African violet. I am propagating it through a leaf, and we have here multiple shoots. I will separate and I will only keep one of them when they grow a bit more. Okay, and here we have some very interesting orchids, and I really hope you will go and check the pictures for these ones up, because they are gorgeous ones, quite rare actually, except this one. This is a Paphiopedilum that I received from Dani 2.5 years ago, if I remember correctly. It was an OID, but this year it has bloomed for me, and I think it is the Paphiopedilum maudiei green. I received it as a single fan, and this fan, like in the middle, it has bloomed after it has grown about 8 new leaves or more actually, and the old ones were keep dropping off and new ones were growing. And now it is growing this new fan. These have started to grow, let's say recently. This one in late autumn last year, and this one when the spike was just developing. It is doing very well for me in semi-hydro. This is another orchid which I received from Dani. It is Phalaenopsis J-Hose Pink Girl. It is that mother plant that she had, and she kept the keiki. She gave the mother plant to me. Oh wow, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so I will intervene quite fast for this orchid. You can see that the leaf started to go brown at the base, and this is an indicator for stem rot, and actually the bacterial one, but I didn't water these orchids in about 10 days. It is not because water was standing there, but I think she is a bit sick. I will see, because actually the orchid is looking good and it is growing new roots. I will put it aside and I will look at it. Before this she was growing bigger and bigger leaves, as you can see. I didn't had her for all that many years, maybe 2, and yeah, as I said, she was severely infested with spider mites. We can still see that as a remnants on the older leaves. This is a sunburn. Okay, this one will get sprayed. What else? Here we have my BC Maikai. It is finally healthy. It didn't yet get to its mature size, but that is okay. I had a very bushy orchid. I divided her in about 7 pieces. Mine, at least mine, got infected with Fusarium, and now I think it is free of it. It is growing a lot of new growths, and I have recently or a few minutes ago actually. I put it in this pinkish pot because it was in a plastic one, a very tall one, and it was really unstable. You can see it is quite tall. This is another gorgeous orchid from Dania, which I have actually recently divided, and I have one division for sale. It is called Cattleya Jungle Eyes. Gorgeous blooms. It has bloomed for me in the past. After about 6 months after she gave me, I have this orchid for 2.5 years now. Actually, all the orchids that I have from her came in the same package, and it is growing some new roots, a new growth here, and I'm really looking forward to see it again in bloom. She has quite a lot of fruits, so she's a happy orchid. This is a very rare Cattleya to see in Europe. It is called, let's see, BLC Picotee Passion SVO Sunset Valley Orchids. It is actually a gorgeous orchid nursery, I think from USA. So me getting this orchid was wow. You should check the name up. Now this is the first year when this orchid doesn't have any more calcium deficiency. It has came to me like that, and she didn't had good roots. Also she has some weird pseudobulbs, but this is the way she came, and then she has produced this pseudobulb, which of course you can see the leaf, it's not there, it had calcium deficiency. Then this one, then she has produced this one, which was a bit more okayish. Then she has produced this one, then she did another growth on this side, and now I have changed this orchid from a plastic cup in this beautiful reddish pot, and I have seen that she has a lot of fruit tips. So finally she is healthy again. She is not yet fully established, let's say, because she didn't reach her full size, but someday I will see her again in bloom, and I am so excited to see that. This is an amazing Phalaenopsis orchid. It is Phalaenopsis Princess Kaiulani Miki. I got this one from Schwerter about 3.5 years ago. It came with a deficiency to me, and now she is recovered. She is full of fruits. She is very well established in semi-hydro. She is producing some new root tips, and also here, I hope you see that. What else should I say? I never saw this orchid in bloom. Although Schwerter said it was a mature orchid, I don't think it was. You can see how small she was, but now she is producing bigger and bigger leaves. This is the last leaf that was grown during the winter, and it is very big, and now she is growing one of these. But I have seen at Bumblebee one of these which is very mature. She has it for about 7 or 8 years, and she can produce huge leaves, so mine is actually still quite young. Alright, here I have a gorgeous Cattleya orchid. It is still a seedling. It will bloom in about 3 years. This is a Cattleya varsvicii alba snow Caesar, and it is growing this big new growth. It is very fat, as you can see. This orchid, it is a huge orchid. When it is fully mature, she will have like 40 centimeters in height, so now she is young. This is an orchid which I am really happy I am able to save. This is a BLC Sun Young Ruby. This is super fragrant, and when it came to me, I suspected she had fusarium, but she was also suffering from calcium deficiency. So now she is healthy. She is growing this new growth, and I'm trying to show to you, she has a lot of branches, but this fruit and one more are the only ones that are that she has, and it came from Schwerter about 1 year ago, and it came without roots. The medium was super rotted or decomposed, and just now she is able to recover. So she has 2 roots, and from this one that is on the top of the medium, she has a lot of branches. So now I'm going to put this orchid into a slightly bigger pot, because I want those roots to be actually underneath the medium and to absorb a lot of nutrients to help the orchid grow and recover better. Here we have a PLC Cat Red Panda dragon cat. It has a very peculiar name. This orchid came from Schwerter about 5 years ago. I have divided her twice now. Unfortunately, this orchid didn't yet perform very well for me during the years. This is a sunburn, but that is okay. This was also a sunburn and I cut the leaf. Last year she produced these canes with a sheath, but they didn't bloom, and now she is growing this new growth. And this one, I suspect this orchid to have fusarium. I am not really sure. Actually, this is the newest growth, and this is from 1.5 years ago. Okay, sorry for that, the courier came. Let's finish up with this orchid. So as I was saying, I will put her in a bigger pot. Here I have that orange Cattleya, which I received from Fifi Corina. Now, last year she grew really well and vigorous for me. I received it from Canada, and it stayed about 2 weeks on transport, quite okay-ish, let's say. And she produced 2 new growths, this one here and this one here. Now she is branching out quite a lot of fruits, but she didn't grow for about 6 months any new suitable, and usually my Cattleyas do grow continuously, so this orchid, it is not yet really fully established in semi-hydro and in my climate, because in Canada there is a completely different climate, and the orchids, as I said, like the one from Equahenera, will take quite a lot of time until they properly adjust. Here we have a gorgeous Phalaenopsis. This is Phalaenopsis Baldan's Kaleidoscope Golden Treasure. Now I received this orchid from this orchid was belonging to my boyfriend's mother, and now I have it, and it wasn't very healthy, but now she is starting to grow again this leaf. It is pushing up some new roots, and the cake is also pushing up some new roots, so it is on the good track. But it was in semi-hydro and it was not doing great because the old roots weren't used to semi-hydro and they are kind of dying. But now I put her in moss and she is responding well. Later, when the roots will be bigger, I will put her in semi-hydro. So I think this covered all these orchids. And I think that here we have the last 3 orchids that I will film today, and then I will do the 4th part tomorrow. Here is a very pretty orchid. It is a Cattleya Secret Love. I have this orchid for about 4.5 years now, from Cattleya in Poland. It arrived with a super decomposed medium, and unfortunately at the start I managed to broke a little new growth when I was repotting it, and it stalled for 1.5 years, and then it tried to grow a new growth which died because of calcium deficiency, but now she is starting to recover. This is the suitable that was produced last year, and it did produce a leaf, but after that the leaf slowly died back because, again, calcium deficiency. But this time I am seeing the new leaf. It's looking very good. This is about the size when the last leaf started to die back. Here we do have quite a few roots that are starting to grow, so I am hopeful that this time I will manage to save this orchid. Here I have an orchid which I bought 2 years ago from a London orchid show. It is a LC Siamese Doll Kiwi. Unfortunately, when I have purchased this orchid, she was looking very good, but a suitable had a brown patch here which didn't move for about 1.5 years, and last autumn that suitable dried up, and after that the infection spread, and now I'm left with only these 2 suitables. The new growth is not looking very good because the orchid doesn't have a lot of fruit, but she does have a few, and yeah, she's in semi-hydro. I hope she will recover, and because she's a gorgeous orchid, a gorgeous Cattleya orchid. And here it is a Phalaenopsis noide with very interesting mottled foliage. Unfortunately, someday I just found the top of the plant snapped, and I didn't put anything on the wound because I hoped it will produce a cakey. She does have a little something here. I'm not sure if that will develop into a cakey or not later, but I did see when I put her in semi-hydro somewhere, I think it's somewhere from the base, she was starting to produce a cakey, so that one will develop at some point too. And she does have a few other cakeys on the spikes, which are starting now to produce some roots. I can only feel the bumps at this point, but I'm sure they will come, and at that point when they will be large enough, I will put them in some moss to develop some more, and at the right time they will be potted together with the mother plant. So, okay guys, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I will come back tomorrow with the fourth part of this orchid series. Thank you very much for watching, and see you all next time. Bye!